Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BrokeN Boys. This is episode 217. I'm Mike.
And I'm Colin.
And yeah, today we're going to talk about stuff and things. So,
And if you wouldn't mind, Mike, I think that we should start this episode with a moment of silence for our dear departed friend of the pod, Pope Francis.
Of course.
Gone too soon.
Gone too soon, yes. And if I wanted to spoil The Last of Us, we could do another moment of silence, but I'm not going to do that.
Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe later. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about that briefly. That is something that happened this week. Pope Francis passed away.
On Easter Monday.
On Easter Monday. And I don't know too much, but I know you watched Conclave recently, so maybe you got a joke prepared for that. But I don't know too much about the guy except that he was kind of a progressive pope in terms of supporting at least gay rights. I'm not sure how. I think I was seeing some stuff that maybe he wasn't too huge on trans stuff, but for a pope to be supportive of gay rights, that's huge. So, but
yeah,
we can take what we can get. But well, we took what we had. But yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yep.
JD Vance killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he gave Pope Francis that blue eye stare, and it just was too much for him in that sickly state he was in for a while. So,
yeah, he looked at him just like JD looks in those memes. Those are some of the last things that Pope Francis saw was that big round face.
Yeah,
and the puckered lips.
I think I would take the easy way out after that.
Yeah, or before that. I think that would be the better call.
Yeah. If on my docket for Easter Sunday was to meet with JD Vance, I think it'd be
yeah, that's the last straw.
Yeah, if there were any time to watch Conclave though, I would definitely do that. I don't think it'll be as exciting in the voting process for the Pope,
right,
as the movie. But if Ray Fiennes is there and Stanley Tucci, you're in for a good time.
Yeah. I mean, that is one I guess I probably should watch. See how that whole system works. I guess. But
banger.
It's a banger. Yeah. Speaking of bangers, Colin, how was your week?
Oh wow. It was okay.
Okay.
Just work. I got a good couple more days off than usual. I will be. I'll talk from afar. I'll try to speak up, but the cat wants to leave the room.
Oh. There goes the cat.
There goes the cat. But work. I got a good few more days off than I usually do because, it was it's just how somebody took my shift on Monday and then I was off on Tuesday without me knowing.
Yeah.
So I had a nice 3 days off this week, and I'm not mad about it because I think I needed it.
Yeah,
for sure. Lots of busy weeks behind us.
Yeah, I'm assuming with everyone doing like finals and shit, McDonald's is the easy choice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be getting slower soon. Summer's coming. Students will be leaving. But also we're losing my favorite manager, which is so cool.
Yeah, awesome.
She fucking was just like she took up the job of scheduling manager, which also comes with like interviewing and hiring new people, But with the lack of managers that we've been having, she's had to work overnights, and she has 2 jobs,
Uh-huh. Oh
and
yeah.
it's been a lot of stress on her, all of this stuff. So she was like, "Hey, I don't think I want to do the scheduling anymore. It's it's just a lot for me, especially with the overnight stuff on top of all that." Um, and in response to that, they were like, "Oh, you're stressed. We're gonna move you to another store."
Oh.
So, you know, we
Like
we're
that
getting
won't
someone to
cause more stress?
right. We're getting somebody to be in her place,
Yeah.
but I don't have high hopes for that. I don't know who they are, and I don't think they're going to be nearly as good as she was.
Right.
But in the meantime, of me, before I look for a new job, I might just transfer to the store she's going to,
Oh, okay.
um, because you know I don't want to deal with what the store is going to be for the next little while.
Is that
Uh,
not to dox too much, but is that just the one that's a little bit more north?
it's towards more like I don't know if you know where like the Popeyes and stuff are in this area.
Ooh. Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
I do because I think I went there a few
yeah,
times. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
it's like
okay.
a
That area. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's like a 10-minute drive. It's not the worst, but I might do that. I might not. We'll see. I think that a lot of people aren't gonna be staying much longer just due to the fact that she's gonna be gone anyway.
Yeah.
And on top of it being summer, we're already losing the student base
Right.
of workers. So that's another oopsie daisy
Yeah.
there. But it's gonna be great. Very excited. Sad that she's leaving, but I do hope it's less stress for her. Otherwise,
Yeah.
but we'll see. She dropped that bomb on us yesterday, and I was like, I got verified to be a trainer last week. I'm like, oh cool, it's gonna be nice. I can't wait to work. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not like excited to work, but I just I like working with her a lot, and it
Yeah.
just sucks. But it's okay. Um,
Rip. Rip to a real one.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But otherwise, work this week wasn't like too bad. We Easter Sunday was like super easy. Like we were so slow, which was so nice. And I got to go home early on Easter, um, just like chill out. It was easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which it was just a nice switch up from how it was during the week, um, and the week prior to that as well. It didn't get too busy again until yesterday, I don't think, because we were surprisingly slow on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden yesterday it was just like all day it was just like car after car after car after car.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. And we also got chicken strips now,
Oh.
so
Wow.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
uh,
Have you, out of curiosity, have you tried one?
yeah, yeah,
It,
I've tried them.
how is it compared to a nugget?
It's different. It's a lot different from the nugget. The
Okay.
strips are more like the McCrispy like
Okay.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
So it's like higher quality chicken.
That's good.
I will say burping after those is like the worst burps I've ever had.
Okay.
It just tastes awful in the mouth.
Yeah.
Um, but before they come back up as burps, they're pretty all right.
Nice. I'm just
Um,
curious, have you ever considered being a food reviewer? I think
I
this is what
thought
the
about it.
people need.
I think so. I think I could be the next Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Instead of the
Racism and
aftertaste.
all.
Yeah. Instead of ranking the aftertaste, you rank the afterburp taste. The afterburp feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very important aspect of eating.
Yeah, of course.
It's you gotta take into account how you're gonna feel after you eat,
Yeah.
and if it's gonna come back up later in a way that's like unsatisfactory, maybe don't go back to it.
I guess so. Yeah.
But they're all right. I think that they're gonna be. I think we're getting snack wraps back in a bit, and those are gonna be in them.
Cool.
Um, which I'm excited for snack wraps. Those were good back in the day. Um, I only wish that we would bring back the shrimp McBites.
Oh.
Uh, I don't remember or the fish McBites.
Oh.
It was either shrimp or fish, but yeah, back in like I think the late 2000s, there were like these cartons they came with these little fish and chicken bites. There were chicken McBites and fish McBites, and I remember them very vividly.
Interesting.
Um,
That's
I
funny
don't know
because
if you remember
I would not trust shrimp from a McDonald's, but um,
no.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I,
there was a thing I saw this on the jet lag game that I like a lot when they were in Japan for a game. They have like I'm trying to look it up right now, but they have like some sort of like shrimp like nuggets type thing in Japan McDonald's, and apparently they're very good. But
well,
yeah.
I think any McDonald's outside of the United States has like more high quality stuff.
Right. And also
I think it's
Japan is surrounded by ocean.
oh yes, yeah, yeah. You don't want to eat shrimp McBites in fucking Wyoming,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
um, but work's been okay other than the fact that our dear manager is leaving.
Right.
Um, but other than work, it's been super nice out. That's been super cool. Had the
Yeah.
windows open, even had to turn on the air conditioning. Got super warm, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Summer's on its way.
Yeah. Spokesperson
Uh,
of McDonald's right there.
unintentional, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's infected my dialect.
It's like me
Uh,
just randomly saying pizza pizza or something, you know.
yeah. Uh, but on over the weekend I watched WrestleMania. It was a 2-night event.
Hmm.
Had some good stuff. Had some bad stuff. John Cena wrestled in his last WrestleMania match ever against Cody Rhodes
Oh.
uh, in the main event in the second night, and a wild Travis Scott appeared.
What?
Um, yeah, he's part of the storyline at this point.
Is everyone in the
Uh,
audience okay?
yeah, surprisingly,
Yeah.
he did hurt Cody Rhodes the last time he was around though, because he punched him in the face when he was supposed to like make it look real, but not actually hit him.
Oh.
And give
Yeah.
him a black eye.
That sounds about
Uh,
right.
yeah. Um, but he kind of made the match was already kind of meh, but him coming out and kind of ruining it or like helping John Cena cheat to win made the match even worse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, which it was kind of a sad way for John Cena's WrestleMania last match to go, but it was still cool to see him win. He's the new undisputed WWE champion, so
Wow.
that's pretty cool. There were some other cool matches. The main event of the first night was CM Punk, who's my favorite wrestler, versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, were two big guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and that was a really good match. Um, some double crossing, some backstabbing.
Mm-hmm.
It was great storytelling, great match. CM Punk finally got his his main event, which he's never had at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he brought out the Living Color to sing his theme song, which is always great. They're great. I love that song, Cult of Personality. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, WrestleMania was cool. Um, I watched a movie this week. I watched The Wild Robot,
I don't think I've heard of that.
which it's an animated movie that it's like a DreamWorks animated movie that like everybody like Cinema Joe and all the other movie people that I watched were like raving about last year.
Oh.
And I hadn't watched it, but I'd heard all these good things, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finally sit down and watch this. And it was a really good, very very sweet movie, beautifully animated, some great voice acting. Lupita Nyong'o, who is in like Us, from
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Peele. She's in the Black Panther movies.
Oh, okay.
She was the main character of the Wild Robot. There was a fox named Fink who was voiced by Pedro Pascal.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and it was a nice heartfelt Pedro thing after what happened on Sunday.
Nothing happened.
And
What are you talking about?
nothing happened.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
no. um, but it's a good movie. I'd highly recommend it. It's very heartfelt, very sweet, very beautiful. Um, but that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't watch or I didn't listen to any albums this week. I was going to, but I just did slip my mind really.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, Otherwise, The Last of Us. We can talk about that maybe later, but
Yeah.
that was great. And then yeah, I think that's basically it. How was your week, Mike?
Week was fine. Don't really got too much to talk about, honestly. But we did a little last Saturday we did a little hangout with my friends because we had a bunch of us in town for, Easter and such. Um, and yeah, we there was a lot of scheduling stuff that was going on there that was going awry because one of our friends was an hour and a half away for a family thing. They were celebrating Easter on Saturday, and then
Oh,
you know how that goes. It was just like getting messages like, so it might be an hour late because they forgot to turn the oven on. you know, fun stuff like that. But
oops.
oopsie. But it all eventually came together. But like, I got some Jersey Mikes with my neighbors. Got a very small wrap. I feel like I've gotten bigger wraps from there before, but it was still good. It was a good wrap. They forgot my root beer, but it was a good wrap.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah, crazy. And then Daniel got himself I almost said a McDonald's pizza. Who? A Domino's pizza. The McDonald's of pizza, some might say. Um, I like
Yeah.
Domino's, and I like McDonald's
Yeah.
sometimes. But um, you didn't respond to that last one.
Yeah. I mean,
But but yeah, we went back, and then they all arrived and stuff. I accidentally let one of their dogs out, who went running for a little while. Um, Felt bad about that. Um, but eventually, Natalie was able to catch up to him while he was mid poop, apparently, and that was the best way to get him. Um, so I felt bad about that. But we kind of just like hung out in their garage a little bit. Played some Uno with we had how many people do we have? We had 6 people, all together. Wait, yes, yeah, 6 people. Sorry, counting is hard. Um, we did some Uno, and then we did like this dice game that I don't remember the name of. But it it kind of turned very competitive very quickly, like the what was it called, Tensies, that we played
yes,
with
tensies. Yeah.
Vincent them. Um, yeah, yeah, it kind of turned very intense very quick, but it was kind of like it was like a mix of that and like I guess like logic and like somewhat gambling a little bit. Like we weren't actually putting money, but like it was a lot of like you have to guess these things, take a gamble, and then you know basically someone could say bullshit, and then you can see if who was right, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of like something like that, but it was a lot of chance and a lot of guessing and stuff, and that was pretty fun. But just getting to hang out with most of the crew is good because we live very far apart nowadays. So, um,
Yeah.
I mean, Vanessa was in New York for a long time, so it was further for a
Right.
while there. But yeah, did that, and then Easter. Did family celebration with Easter. Everyone's in town. Met with family. We played Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza with
Banger.
a group of 7. It would have been,
Ooh.
um, which yeah, there was a little bit of blood drawn, but it was fine.
Was that
Wasn't
really?
wasn't mine, wasn't my fault. So
Hey man, yeah, I know how that is.
yeah, I've had blood drawn in that game before, but I was telling that a little bit. I was like, yeah, my friend's fiance had some nails when playing this game.
It
Rings
was so
rings were
funny.
required to come off when we played, but yeah.
Yes, she got me with her nails as well
Hmm.
because I remember looking down after her like jamming her fist in or her hand
Yeah.
in the side of my hand, and I was like, "Ow, that hurts!" And I looked down and there's just blood running down my arm, and I'm like, "Oh."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh, yeah. she has a gift and a curse with those nails. Um, but yeah, no, but that was fun though. Just getting to hang out with the family. There were some talks afterwards that kind of made me a little upset, a little sad, I guess, in some ways, because we had a very full crowd there this year, just because all of my well, my two cousins and my brother both brought their significant others, or
Mm.
all brought their significant others, and so like it was a lot of people there, and then there was kind of some discussions of like, well, will we be able to have it this big at our house? Well, we might not always have this big of a crowd as well too, because people
Mm.
getting older, and one of my aunts there has been battling breast cancer for a little bit, so just I was like, that was a little bit of a downer that I just didn't really think about, and I was like, oh, damn, that's kind of true. um, but other than that though, it was a fine time. Ate some food, ate some desserts, pet the cat and the dog over there. So all fine and dandy. um, but yeah, that was really about it for my week. Just kind of those 2 days. I mean, I worked on some video projects this week that will be showcased soonish. Um, and played a lot of Terraria. Been getting into that a bit. And having some fun with that. And then yeah, and then last night, my friend Vanessa and I, because she was in town longer than she thought she was going to be, we went out for some dinner. Went to good old Buffalo Wild Wings, B-Dubs.
Mhm.
We went there because there was a BOGO deal going on. So we went there for that reason. But there was a lot of people there to watch the NFL draft picks. Um,
Ah,
yeah, and it was busy in there, but we didn't expect it to be an hour and a half before we got our food.
holy
um,
shit.
yeah, it was. Yeah, and I don't want to be one of those customers because I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. But there was a group of like 4 guys who sat down like maybe 10 minutes after us, and they all got their food like 10 minutes before us.
Ooh.
So I don't know what happened there. Um, yeah, that was it was fine. Just a little longer than I thought it was gonna be. I got to be in the classic position of this is a classic Mike position whenever I'm put in a scenario with sports all around me where I just ask a lot of questions about shit because I don't understand anything. So, I think she was entertained by that though. But that was good, I guess. The food was good. They have like this buffalo blue, like a blue cheese
Mhm.
sauce that was pretty. Or sorry, yeah, sauce on the wings. That was pretty good. And then I tried Thai curry. Yeah, I tried Thai curry,
Mhm.
um, which was fine. Probably wouldn't be my go-to, but it was all right. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I listened to a little EP by West Side Gun because that was the most reviewed thing this
Uh,
week, called "Heels Have Eyes," not Hills, Heels.
mm.
And it was 10 minutes long, and it sounded fine, but it was like extremely forgettable. Like it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is whatever, but it left absolutely no impact on me. So that's that is something I listened to this week. But yeah,
How many times did you go boo boo boo?
I think it happened once or twice or so. um, but yeah, it was just very forgettable. But
Mm.
yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Forgot
Yeah.
to mention that I've been keeping up on Minecraft as well, like I talked
Oh
about
yeah.
last week. It's been fun.
You just
I'm
doing
making a
solo
house today.
stuff?
We're just like playing around on servers, mostly just by myself.
Yeah.
But it's my friend Ricky's server he has going on with a bunch of his friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just in there. I'm making a house. I'm kind of
Nice.
disconnected from most people, but I'm above them on top of a
Of
mountain.
course. Oh,
But
I thought
yeah,
you meant like morally. But
that too. Yeah. No, but I'm making a house that I like quite a bit. It's kind of in the same vein as the one from our server back in 2020.
Yeah.
But I'm liking that. I've
Cool.
also been reading comics still. And I finished the Daredevil line that I was reading. Uh, and I read some X-Men, and now I'm reading the Spider-Man series. And the art
Nice.
style looked very similar to very familiar to me. And I was like, this has to be something. And I looked up the artist who drew that line, and it was Ryan Otley, who also drew the Invincible comics.
Oh,
So I was like, oh, that's cool.
nice. You said
Because
that was Daredevil, the one you're talking about, or
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, and those comics are actually like super funny. Like Spider-Man's a funny character,
Yeah.
but like the writing in that is so witty and funny and all over the place. It's just it's really well done. But I saw the way that like Mary Jane was drawn, and I was like, that looks like Adam Eve from the comics. Uh,
Yeah.
just like big lips, red hair, very angular, and I was like, who? That's gotta be. It's gotta be some. That's gotta be that. And
Yeah.
it was. And, you know. Um, but yeah, I love comics. Comics are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some interest in maybe like reading like the Invincible comics or like the Walking Dead comics, maybe even too.
Mhm.
Very different vibe. Well, actually not really. They're literally the same creator. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, yeah, no, I mean I there's definitely an appeal there to that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
very cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, and some music news.
Hmm.
We got a single from Quadeca,
Sure did.
Monday, Monday on
Monday,
Monday,
Monday, Monday. Yeah.
Monday, and I liked it quite a bit. I re-listened to it yesterday after you mentioned it being out earlier this
Mm.
week. And I like it a lot. I like it. I think I do like it more than the first single, just because
Godsend, yeah.
uh, yeah, it has one like this one has like one solid feel it goes through the entire time, rather than how Godstained was like it had that switch up.
Hmm.
Um, but I like all the like orchestral vibe. I think he sounds great on the song.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm interested to see how they both play into the full album.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely love that single. I mean, basically, I mean, because I told you it came out because I listened to it once. I was like, holy, this shit is so good. I like you were saying the orchestration and stuff on there, like all the strings sound so nice, the guitars in there, the flute lines and everything. Like it's very I think chamber pop would be the way to describe it a bit.
Mm.
But like it's produced so well and it feels so like authentic and like I don't know. It just makes me feel warm and cozy. I just really love the vibe of that whole track. It's kind of for similar reasons that I love Texas Blues so much from last year too. Um,
Hmm.
but I'd say this one's even more like you were saying. It's very honed into one sound, but like it does that sound very well. Um,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And apparently, the way he's been talking about this album, he's saying that no two songs sound alike on it. So,
Ah.
well, we'll have to see what that means because I feel like the last two do kind of have a similar sound to
Yeah.
them. But uh, either way though, dude, I'm really looking forward to this project. I think it
Yeah.
it honestly for me like just like the level of quality with that last song. I mean, I like this song better than Godstained as well, but like there's high potential there for me for like album of the year worthy. um,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love Ben. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. And Quaka did,
Kwanka
and he
did.
continues to do so. So,
Kwanka continues
uh,
to do.
but yeah, that's cool. Very excited for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lord dropped a new single.
Hmm.
I think yesterday. Uh, it's called What Was That?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I listened to it once. I thought it started off kind of meh to me a little bit, but it grew on me as it kept going. I'd have to give it more listens, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Did you listen to it?
Yeah, yeah, I listened to it once as well. I thought it was fine. Like it like kind of was like, yeah, this feels like a Lord song. Like it feels like it's kind of like, I mean, not that artists have to, significantly change a whole bunch, but it does sound like it's something ripped straight from like melodrama. But like,
Hmm.
I don't know. If I may like it more on some more listens, but I felt like it just felt like very standard run of the mill for Lord.
Yeah.
I guess I just would hope something a little more adventurous. But it was good though. It wasn't like it was bad or anything. But
No.
yeah.
Yeah. And then there was the Backseat Lovers, I guess, had a concert earlier this week, and I saw some videos of them performing. They sound great as always. I would love to see them
Mm-hmm.
live, but they also debuted a new song.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I sent the video TikTok of that to Mike, uh, and I thought it sounded really cool. Obviously, there's a lot to there's a lot to be heard still from a studio version of that song, but I thought that from a live setting it sounded pretty cool. Um,
Mm.
and I'm continuing to be pretty spot on with my predictions for what's coming out
He
this
sure
year.
is.
So uh, I was looking at it earlier. Um, where was it? Beginning of the year.
Next year we should keep like a count of like for artists that like haven't confirmed or teased anything, just like to
Uh-huh.
see who gets more of them.
But I got Joe, I got Lucy,
Yeah.
Jid,
We did know, I think we knew
uh,
about Joe beforehand, but yes,
yeah,
still.
okay.
Yeah.
Car seat headrest. The backseat lovers are on here too.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'll continue to look at that to see if I'm doing well. But
Yeah.
I'm batting high this year.
I've already gotten rid of my list, so I don't even remember what I said. I know I said some stuff that like was already confirmed pretty much.
Yeah,
I don't remember my unique picks, but yeah.
this is why writing down physically helps. You can go look back
I hate
rather than
physical
reading
media. I want everything to live online.
it. I am AI.
I am AI.
But yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then uh, the 21 Pilots still on their European Clancy tour.
Uh-huh.
And there's been some continuance of storylines and things. Tyler's been wearing his cryptic shirts that he's been wearing the whole tour, with like different pictures
Hmm.
of random shit. But there's been numbers on them, uh, which people have been trying to decipher and break the code of.
Yeah.
Um, there was also a little bit of lore thing where the other night he hesitated in grabbing the Clancy jacket before they walk back to the stage for the Dima reveal.
Hmm.
Uh, and he also just didn't sing the chorus of Navigating and just like let out a huge scream at
Oh
the end of the
shit.
song.
I'm
Um,
surprised I didn't see anything on that. Yeah.
yeah, uh, it it seems to be stuff going towards more things story wise, which I'm
Yeah.
very excited for. The two album theory from last year is making a little bit of a resurgence.
I've been seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, Evie, who's like a bigger person in the Click
Hmm.
21 Pilots fan base, made a video about it on TikTok, where she brought back up this tweet that Tyler made before the album dropped, which was just a bunch of random letters.
Hmm.
Uh, and he was like, "Well, this is nothing, guys. I'm always straight up. I'm so always straightforward with you guys. This is nothing. I'm telling you."
Yeah.
Um, but there's with the numbers corresponding with and the numbers on his shirts on the tour have been like corresponding with like different like letters in the alphabet and letters within that random string that he tweeted. Um, and they also like spell out like song, like what they think is song names, and some of the names correlate with the letters within that string.
Yeah.
Uh, which I don't want to be delusional, but
From what I would say, because people were talking like that exact same theory like last year, weren't they? Like after
yeah.
that tweet came out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I
Right, but
just
now
yeah.
I don't know, the cryptic stuff with with the shirts and everything, and the numbers and the random string of letters. Like I don't know, it seems like he's playing into it a little bit more.
It might be.
Um,
I don't know. We'll see.
which we'll see.
We're
We'll
gonna
see.
get Clancy Deluxe with just the line added on
The line in doubt demo.
yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold my breath. I don't think I won't say anything or get too excited until something is officially announced or debunked. But for now, I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm
Yeah.
say please, 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 Tyler.
Please, please, please.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but that I saw that was pretty cool. Some cool
Hmm.
stuff. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I've
yeah.
been seeing things on that, but I don't know. I don't think I'm too old for it, but like, I just, for some reason, I guess it's just the whole thing with double albums. I don't know. I don't like getting my hopes up for that kind of stuff. I'd rather just be
Yeah,
surprised by when it comes to that. Like when it comes to like an actual album coming out, that I do want to dig into all the lore and all that shit. I guess for some reason,
for sure.
but for some reason, double album, I have a different mindset.
That's fair. No,
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all. I think that there's it's definitely you don't want to get your hopes up too
Yeah.
hard. You don't
Yeah.
want to, if you don't want to look into all this stuff and use all that brain power for something that's not actually gonna fucking matter.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm just a little obsessed.
Hmm.
Just a
Yeah.
little upset.
Yeah. I'm definitely not obsessed. I'm a normal fan.
Yeah, you're casual. You're
Yeah.
a filthy casual.
I'm a cash. Yeah.
Normie over here, but
Yeah. Hmm.
um, but that's
Getting
something.
side eyed at the 21 Pilots concert because I'm a normie.
you
Oh.
only sing you only sing stressed out car radio and
Hmm.
ride.
Hmm.
Heathens. Uh,
Heathens, I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one.
I love Suicide Squad. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's all the music stuff I have written down. Yeah.
I don't really have much. I mean, there was a new song from the Model Actress band, which I don't
Uh,
have pulled up at the moment. But I did listen to it, and I thought it was good. I'm not sure if I'm loving the new direction as much as I liked the last album and the first single from this album. The new song is called Diva. But like, it's definitely one that I'll need to give a couple listens because they're going in something that's a little different for them. It's a little more singy, more hooky and stuff. It's still got weirdness to it, but I don't know. It's just a strange mix that I don't know how I feel about it. But I will let you know, I guess, by next week because they have their album coming out next week as well. A lot of things releasing next week, and I keep forgetting what is all getting released. I remember I keep seeing May 2nd, and I'm like, damn, there's a lot of music coming out. Yeah. I wish Album
yeah,
of the Year
May,
was a little better about like you could look at what's coming out next week. But yeah.
yeah. May is pretty stacked so far, as
Hmm.
well as June.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm excited to um excited to see what comes of everything. It's just
Yeah. Car seat
it's
headrest is
very.
next week. Yeah. Sorry. I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't mean to
yeah, yeah.
interrupt you there.
No,
Yeah.
I'm glad you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
I think I looked at that yesterday and I was like, oh my god, yeah, and then I just completely forgot until you just said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for that. I didn't listen to the second single they released. Um,
Uh I think yeah, I did. It was good. It's another really good one. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got good or high hopes for that one as well. Um Hell yeah. I don't have
Yeah.
any world news besides the Pope. I don't know if you got mine.
Uh, no, well, not really world news other than the Pope, but other medias and things.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Bethesda released, shadow dropped the remaster of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion
Mm-hmm.
uh, the other day, which was a pretty cool thing. You don't really see that outside of like music, where people will just drop things.
Yeah.
Um, they had like talked about the remaster and stuff prior, but there was no release date or anything. And then all of a sudden, on fucking like Wednesday morning. They were like, yeah, it's available now. You can play it. It's $50.
Yeah.
Which, also releasing it for $50, that's pretty
Yeah.
sick as well.
Yeah.
When when fucking Naughty Dog released the Last of Us Part 1, the remaster, including fucking Left Behind, not Left Behind. Was it Left Behind?
Yeah, Left Behind.
Yeah, including Left Behind, and just calling it The Last of Us Part 1. That was $80 fucking.
Ooh, that was
So
80 on release?
I think so. Yeah.
What the hell? I don't remember it being that much.
For like a 10-year-old game at that point.
Yeah.
Which
I
did I
get.
buy it? Yeah, I did. But
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. At least I don't know how it was released on PlayStation and stuff. But at least when they brought the Part 2 remaster to PC, it was released at $50, which I thought was pretty respectable. But man,
but
I don't know.
yeah, but that was pretty cool. I thought that was a cool thing for them to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's been getting good reviews too, the Oblivion
yeah.
remaster. And like I've had the original Oblivion on my wish list for a while, and I removed that one and put on the remaster because it seemed like people are liking that one a lot. So yeah.
It's just, I'm not a big Bethesda person. I don't know if I've talked about it a lot on here, but I've never been real big.
Infamous
on
Skyrim hater.
Yes. I wouldn't say I would necessarily hate Skyrim. I just like I find Bethesda's like formula to be kind of boring.
That's fair. Yeah.
And it's just like I the only one that I've played all the way through was Fallout 4, and I did have a good time with that when it came out. But I just think that like the PS4 was new to me, and I was like getting used to having like these AAA games that I was able to play, and I'm not just playing on like the fucking Wii U
Right.
or the Switch, not the Switch yet at that point, but the Wii U and the Wii. So I played that one and played it all the way through, and it was fun. But I don't know, all Bethesda games kind of look and sound the same, and it's just like But I was like tempted to like buy Oblivion when it came out just because like, oh, hype. But yeah, I probably won't. But yeah, and then we can talk about a little bit about The Last of Us.
Yeah, I think before doing that, just because it's very fresh and very big topics coming on, I'll put a little thing on screen right now. It's if I'm a good editor, it's been there for a little bit, well at least the last couple seconds. Just saying, skip to this portion of the video if you don't want to hear any spoilers about Last of Us Season 2, because super duper spoilers ahead.
Yes.
And yeah, because it's hard to talk about without talking about it.
Yes. And at the time of this coming out, it will be a week plus old. But
that's
it's
that was something I realized with last week's episode. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. When we release these, it's gonna be over a week old when we're talking about the big things. But we're at episode 2. If you are still tuned in for some reason. But yeah. So on Easter Sunday, Jesus rose from the dead, and Pedro died.
Yeah. It was the big thing that happened in The Last of Us Part 2 game that shocked the world and shocked the and caused major awful things to happen to Laura Bailey and Naughty Dog, mostly Laura Bailey and her unborn child at that point.
Yep.
It happened in the show. Abby, our new character that we met and we have come to spend a little bit of time with at this point in the show, fucking stabbed Joel in the neck with a broken golf club.
After beating him from the game. Yep. After beating him with it, yeah.
Yeah. The fucking I thought that I liked the touch of her hitting him so hard with the golf club that it fucking snapped.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah, I saw somebody say in the game she had those real high quality, good quality golf clubs, and then in the shows it was a Timu golf club.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It got the job done though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that the shots of Abby just like beating the shit out of Joel with her bare fists like adds a bit more of like ferocity and anger to the whole thing,
Yeah.
um, which I thought was cool. Um,
I'd
but
say.
the
Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna. I'm kind of shifting gears. Are you sure you don't want to get a thought out?
Yeah, you know, go
Okay.
ahead.
I was just gonna say that I do really like. I kind of made this prediction a while ago, probably ever since the show was announced. In general, but the people watching the show have received this way better than the gamers did. And
Mm,
I've always had that stance of like, the fucking gamers are so immature about this type of shit. And like, I
mm,
think a TV audience will be able to understand it and stomach it better. Just
yeah,
because I don't know. I mean, I guess you have things like Game of Thrones where they're killing off
yeah,
main characters and stuff, like it's not as. I mean, it is still surprising, but it's not like unheard of, I guess. Um, but just the emotional maturity of an average TV viewer versus the average capital G gamer is
yeah,
is put on full display there, from how that it was received in the show versus how it's received in the game. But
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. It was something that we were both worried about, and what the response would be,
Hmm.
um, and what the reaction towards the actress Caitlin Dever
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
plays Abby in the show would be. Um, but I'm happy to see that nobody's been sending her death threats or anything like
Yeah.
that. Um,
Pedro was pretty quick to post a selfie of him and her smiling
yes.
on the shoot days.
Yeah. Yeah, there was like a little video that him, Bella, and Caitlin did for like a magazine or something, and
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that.
she's like, yeah, I felt bad. And he's like, don't feel bad. I killed your dad like
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
that. um, but yeah, like you said, I think TV, it's just like a way more common for them to just like fucking pull the trigger on killing uh, a main character,
Right.
rather than like games kill off people all the time, but it's never like it's never as common as in games or in
Hmm.
shows. And like you said, with like Game of Thrones and like The Walking Dead and shit like that, like main characters we love die all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like people. I did see one video where this this woman was like, HBO made a big mistake. They don't realize how popular Pedro Pascal is, and you know how much audience they're gonna lose with the fact that he's not gonna be on the screen anymore.
Damn, it's crazy that
Um,
slipped their mind. How big Pedro Pascal is.
yeah, and that's another thing with the podcast that they do for the episodes
Yeah.
that like Troy brought up. Was like, yeah, he was like, I don't know. I thought that like maybe um maybe they were gonna pull a fast one over us and not actually do it. Um, and then also like I think Craig was like, yeah, and people thought that like HBO wouldn't let us do it, and they made fucking Game of Thrones, so
Hmm. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I
so
love watching those podcast episodes. Yeah.
yeah, it's so entertaining.
Yeah,
Uh,
and to add on to that too, my neighbors who have not played the games, but I love my neighbors to death, but they can be capital G gamers sometimes.
mhm.
They did know about this story beat and they know about some other plot points because they're like, oh, why do people hate this game? Let me look at the big leaks and stuff like that. And so
uh,
like that's where their opinion comes from. And but like they were when we were doing that car ride last week, they were like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna kill Joel? They might not do it because Pedro and everything. And I was like, I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. I mean, I already knew that they knew the death, but I'm just gonna say like, you know, this story does not exist without that story beat happening. Like there
Yeah,
is no season 2 without that happening.
yeah, no,
So
it is like the beginning of the main meat of that story.
yeah,
Um, just like it doesn't go forward without that, like you said. So it's
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm happy I'm happy to see that they went through with it. I'm very interested to see how the rest of the season goes. I think that I think Bella put on a great performance for when it happened.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I do think that I don't know if you mentioned it or somebody or a video I saw mentioned it, but like uh, they wished that she put a little more like bit of like wild anger uh,
Mm.
in with like the crying and the dishevelment of everything. Um, because in the game she's like Ellie is like fucking she's
Yeah,
gonna fucking kill those people.
yeah, like
Um,
frame one.
yeah, and she Bella does say fucking I'm gonna kill you, you're all gonna fucking die, and those are straight from the game as well. But it was more like sadness and just like helplessness within Bella, and I think that's more than okay. I think that works perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Um, and I do think she's gonna fucking kill them all, for sure.
Mm.
But it was uh, and then also like the added bit of her getting fucking kicked in the ribs or
Yeah,
the neck or whatever by Manny.
getting a collapsed lung or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, that was also. I like that. I liked that added touch rather than her being like completely knocked the fuck out
Yeah.
by Jordan, who's no longer a character
Mm-hmm.
within the gang. But
Rip my goat, my goat Jordan.
yeah. um, but and then her crawling over to Joel's body. I loved that touch as well. I think that added a lot of more sadness with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I was I mean we were texting about it after it happened. And I was a little uh I don't know what the right word is. I guess critical is the way to put it. Of just of like, I was very self aware of myself being like, okay, well, I know this is a big difference and this is a big scene. I had huge expectations for this. I'm probably gonna feel different about this in like 2 hours, and I did.
yeah,
And like I do, um, um, I do feel differently, or like I do enjoy the interpretation of the show, and I think they did it well. Something that I do think though is like, I do think the game does it perfectly. Like I still think that, and I don't know. I guess just one thing that I said to my neighbors, and I'm not going to spoil anything past season 2 if someone's, or sorry, past episode 2, if someone's watching this and like doesn't know the game. I'm not going to spoil anything past this episode, but I do still hold the standpoint that like I think no matter what, the game is still going to have one of the most unique storytelling experiences that you'll ever see in any piece of media.
oh yeah,
In a good way. Like the game is it very heavily leans into the nuance and heavily leans into trusting its audience, but also making them feel about every emotion humanly possible, which I think major respect for the game doing that. And the show, while I do really like what the show's doing, they are doing the whole thing a little bit more straightforward, which makes
hmm
sense. Like the whole thing with like Abby giving that whole prolonged speech before the whole killing Joel thing. um like I'm not entirely sure. Like I do really like Caitlin Deaver's performance there. Like she does fantastic during that, but it does feel a little just on the nose, I guess. And I really like how the game is not on the nose about a lot of stuff.
hmm
So it's just that I'm probably gonna have that battle within me this whole season. But
yeah,
I still think the show is doing it well, and I understand why they're doing it that way too, because with a game you've already bought the whole thing, right? Like
right.
you're not gonna. I mean, some people stop playing the game right after Joel's death, which is fucking stupid.
That's true.
But like with a TV show, it's a lot more likely that if these things aren't explained somewhat upfront, then people might just drop the show because they're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't like these characters. They're not written
Yeah.
well and stuff like that until because the game reveals stuff more as it goes on, while the show is just like, scene two, Abby crying over a dead grave of a firefly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of my thoughts on it. But like I do really like that scene. I think Bella did a great job. And I'm glad that people are, you know, being supportive of that episode in general, and even Caitlin
Yeah.
Deaver. And
Hmm.
I have some thoughts on how people are, treating her well, but treated Abby terrible in the game, even though they have the exact same motivations. And
Hmm.
Also how now people are treating Bella poorly in the show, even
Yeah.
though she's doing great. And I do think there is some weird audience stuff going on with, how attractive is this female character for me to
Yeah.
support her. But that's a discussion that could
Yeah.
be had.
Yeah, it is something that's been happening since since Bella was even announced to be playing Ellie. Just like,
Mhm.
oh, she doesn't look like Ellie at all. She's not. She doesn't look like Ellie. That's not Ellie. That's not my Ellie. They should have casted this person. That's been
Yeah,
going on. It's continued to go on even since the first season's been over for 2 years, and the second season just started.
and it's
It's
stupid.
like it is ridiculous, and it's like, like you said, well, how am I who am I going to support? The more attractive person, or the less content, or the less conventionally attractive actor who's just doing a great fucking job
Oh
as everyone
yeah,
else
yeah.
is. Like
Well,
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's
Sorry.
just
Yeah.
like yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do extend this into video game Abby as well, because I wouldn't
Yes,
consider
yeah,
video. I mean, that was a lot of the big things that was going on when the huge leaks happened. Is that people assumed Abby was a trans girl or something like that, right? Just because she's super muscular and not, I guess, conventionally attractive in that
hmm
way. I guess I don't even like talking about women characters
no,
like that, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
yeah,
And like I think that maybe partially leads to some people not liking her in the game, even though once again it's the
yeah,
exact same character with the exact same motivations that just aren't explained to your face in the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely part of it. Like people, a lot of fucking shallow viewers and gamers
Yeah.
and other people will always fucking boil it down to, oh, how hot is this person, and
Yeah.
how does that make me? If they're ugly, it's gonna make it easier for me to hate them.
To give them the benefit
At
of the
least
doubt, I do think it's more subconscious on their level. I don't think it's like just like
sure,
I find this character attractive, therefore I like him. Like I don't think it's a conscious thought, but I do think it's a subconscious thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
But still,
it's
what you're saying,
it's
I agree with. Yeah.
yeah. Bella and Caitlin are going to continue to do an amazing job, and I'm very excited to see how the rest of the season
Oh
goes.
yeah, yeah.
The a lot of the other stuff, other than the big Joel death at the end, was super cool. I
Oh
loved
yeah.
the rampage and the the horde attacking Jackson. I thought that was sick.
Mm.
Um, I think that's a lot of people were complaining about the fact that, oh, the groups changed and who were together. It was Tommy and Joel in the game, and this time it's Joel and Dina, which a lot of people were upset about. People were also upset about the fact that we didn't get Ellie and Dina in the weed den,
Mm.
um, which I understand. That's a very iconic scene from the game. It's very entertaining. It adds a lot more to the romance of Ellie and Dina. Um, but I think without that scene, that the romance between those two characters in the show, if they continue with that line, which I'm sure they will,
Mm.
um, it gives it more time for it to develop naturally on screen rather than just like throwing them into, a sex scene
Yeah.
in a weed basement, which like the scene worked in the game. It was entertaining. It was fun to watch. Um, but I think that in the show, it's going to give them more of like a natural chemistry to work off of rather
Yeah.
than just like throwing them into a relationship.
And
Um,
I also think it's I think I kind of mentioned this to you, but I think it's good that we're getting more time with Jesse too, because
yeah,
as much as I love part two, one of the main complaints I still do have about it is I think it does sideline some of its side characters quite a bit, more specifically with Abby's crew later in the game, which I'm not getting into more spoilers, but like within like the main Jackson group, I do feel like Jesse did not get enough screen time in the game, and like it is good getting to see more personality and more even just like bonding relationship with him and Ellie before the big story beat happens with Joel
yeah,
dying. I think I do like that change, me personally.
yeah. Me too. And I think that like giving Tommy uh like this like moment to show how much of a badass he
Oh yeah.
is with like in Jackson and protecting it with the flamethrower and the bloater. Like that shit was like super cool. A lot of people complained about the fact that like, oh well, he's not gonna really have motivation to go to Seattle then. It's not going to be the same kind of motivation as it is as like survivor's guilt. But like you can
Mm,
have survivor's guilt without being in the room where it happened.
yeah.
You can have survivor's guilt for not being with your brother when he fucking dies to these random people from Seattle.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
like
do
it's
wonder how they'll play that out a little bit, just because in the game Tommy knew exactly what they all looked like and how
yeah,
to do all that stuff. But I'm sure the show has thought about that. Like they're gonna have some way to talk about that story beat and whatever.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. I thought I thought that was cool. I liked a lot of. I think that also Joel's death in the show hurts and affects a lot more people in this universe than in the game because like now Tommy and Maria have a kid. They have Benji, and
Right.
so that's an uncle that's gone now. Dina had more of a connection with Joel in the show,
Mm-hmm.
which was also explored with them being together
Right.
for their lookout as well. Like in the first episode, he calls her kiddo, and like it just like it just shows Joel. The show shows Joel being more of a father figure to multiple people rather than just Ellie, and
Right.
giving him more of like a it makes him more of a cornerstone in the community of Jackson
Yeah.
rather than just being one person for maybe two people with Tommy and Ellie. Um, but it makes him more of an important person within more people's lives within the show. And I
Right.
think that's a really cool added thing that they did.
Yeah, me
And
too.
while people are upset that, it wasn't the same group, somebody didn't get certain scenes that people liked, I think that it just will be cooler down the line to see what these relationships with these other characters did to escalate and to like more uh, make it valid for like Dina to go to Seattle rather than
Yeah.
just like this is my girlfriend, I'm gonna go help her, that was her dad. Like
Yeah.
it yeah, I just think it's cool
Yeah.
and people are complaining
Yeah, me
for no
too.
reason.
And plus, if the groups were faithful to the game and stuff, we wouldn't have had that epic ass fucking Jackson uh holding scene holding
Yeah,
Jackson like that. I really did love that change, and I think it did really well, like visually, and it was a visually stunning episode in general.
yeah,
It was very good watch from start to finish.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hordes were super impressive. I really
Oh yeah.
liked the way that they were able to do that. And also like the fence scene with before Abby meets Joel.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that was pretty much pulled exactly from the game. It was a little longer in the show.
Mm.
That was super cool and well done. Um, but yeah, I think that people need to chill the fuck out and stop complaining so much and just enjoy the time.
Mm-hmm.
you know?
I
But
agree. I agree.
yeah,
Um,
go watch The Last of Us, people. It's a great
yes.
watch.
Yeah, go watch the show that we spoiled a huge part of already. Um, but yes, yeah, if you are somehow watching this, you should go watch it. There's still a lot of great things that happen in part two that are
uh,
yet to happen and we have not spoiled and stuff like that. So, um, it's a very great source material that they're pulling from. So I'm very
yeah.
excited to see that. And I'm still interested to see how they do a season finale, because I don't know exactly where. But
Yeah, I have no idea what they're gonna
yeah,
do.
we'll see.
Um, yeah, but, very exciting, very very excited.
Hmm. That was
Um,
my chair, if
but
anyone's wondering. That sounded very loud and like a fart.
But if it was, who cares? It's you're in your own home.
Just ripping ass the whole podcast.
I mean, who doesn't?
That'll be the name of this episode, ripping ass. But yeah, that's The Last of Us talk. Well, I don't really have anything much else to talk about. We are good to jump into Song of the Week unless you got something else.
Yeah, I'm good to hop in if you want.
Alrighty. Well, like I was saying earlier, well, saying to you, but also earlier the episode, I do really, really like that new Quadeca song, Monday. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Quadeca Monday. Darling, don't you give up on a Monday. All right, that was Monday by Quadeca. What'd you think of that, Colin?
Banger.
Yeah.
Banger song, really, really good. It just continues to grow on me the more I listen to it. I think that Ben sounds fantastic across that whole track. I love the lyrics within it. I think that it's a nice message. Like, don't give up on a Monday, you know. And it's also I like the opening line of this. It's the time of year where I start to get older. Like that's a pretty sick line to start a song off on. But the entire song is just really well made. I love the instrumentation and the orchestral kind of stuff within it. It's just like I don't know. It's just a nice, airy, springy kind of feeling, and I like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. It's a very, I guess, in a way, straightforward song for him, at least for his last couple records. Like it's very, verse chorus, very clear chorus and everything. But like it's it stands on its own 2 feet like very well with the production. Something, I mean, we were I mentioned the strings and the flutes earlier, but like the pianos on here are also gorgeous. I love all those running arpeggios that they're doing throughout it. And also the vocals at the end too, with like the background vocals, like just man, like he I don't know, like he continues to get better at using his voice as well on a lot of these projects. Like maybe he isn't the most like technically naturally gifted singer or something, but like he uses it very well. And I think this track, I don't know, I'd probably have to do a deep dive to make this claim 100%, but I feel like this is one of his best vocal performances just all throughout. Like I don't know, it just works. It's so, I don't know, it's really good. It's a great track from him that has got me even more excited for this project. So
yeah, very excited.
Yeah, what are you feeling?
Well, like I said, I didn't listen to anything in full this week, but uh, I like wrestling, and wrestling,
What?
wrestling and music don't really like coincide all that much. You don't talk about them both in the same place a lot of the time. But what makes a good wrestler is their entrance, and if they got a good entrance song, you're more likely to like them. And with CM Punk, my favorite wrestler, he's got a great fucking entrance song. So I'm gonna go with "Cult of Personality" by Living Color.
All right.
All right, that was "Cult of Personality" by Living Color. What do you think, Mike?
I won't lie. When you first introduced this as a WWE entrance music song, I wasn't having like I assumed you would pick a good song because I know you got good taste. But like I was like, okay, interesting choice. No, that song was great. That was honestly like fantastic. Like I wasn't expecting to like that as much as I did. Also wasn't expecting it to be kind of mathy at points too. Very, that tickled my nerd little brain. But I think just even in general, like a lot of the social commentary and like the lyrics and stuff was like very, something I wasn't expecting out of a WWE entrance song either. And in fact, I don't know I don't know CM Punk. Is that someone who's been having this song for a while, or is this like
he's had this song since 2011, I think 2010.
Wow. I mean, I think it applies very much to our current political state as
Yeah,
well. So, very forward thinking in a lot of ways too. I mean,
yeah.
the track came out in 1988, so like forward
Mm.
thinking on the band's part, but like even just I don't know, it's a bold choice for entrance song, but it also fits super well, and I really liked that. That was really cool.
Yeah, glad you did. I don't know. I've always been, since I first got into wrestling when I was young, in like 2010, 2011. Seeing CM Punk, who's a guy from Chicago, and like it was also like a home state kind of like attraction for me to him, and that song just like helped a lot. I've loved that song since I first like listened through it all the way through, and I think it's cool that it's like an all black
Yeah.
heavy metal band from New York, and they just like they rock hard. The fucking I love a lot of the guitar riffs across that song. The lyrics, like you said, are pertinent to this day. It's just like um, and like CM Punk's a very like outspoken, like social activist kind of person. So it's like it fits with him personally as well.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just yeah, I love that song. I thought I'd spotlight it, give it a little highlight.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did because I don't think I would have come across that otherwise. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's sick.
yeah, very cool.
Awesome. Well, I think we're good to do a little bit of wrapping up. So I will do that. If you're listening on streaming services, we love you to death, audio listeners.
Mhm.
You are our bread and butter, I guess. But we do love you to death. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can see over on YouTube if you come on over to uh that website under the same name. We're BrokeN Bois, capital N Bois, and you can see our beautiful pictures of Lemo and Daredevil. Looking down and sad still. And, you can see those, but more importantly, you can see a whole bunch of other stuff in the description that we link to for more stuff from us, but also just things related to the pod, like the Song of the Week playlists. That little segment we just did. You can there's 3 playlists down there where you can go listen to a whole bunch of music. We got one playlist for me, one for Colin, and one for both of us combined. And in those playlists, you can find Cult of Personality by Living Color, as well as Monday by Quadeca. In those playlists, there's a bunch of other Quadeca songs too. And yeah, go check out those
Yeah.
playlists. But we got some links to some personal stuff as well. For me, I have made music under the name Plaintive, and things are getting to working on a release date. Or we'll
Yippee!
say that, and might be sooner than you think, or maybe later than you think. I don't know.
Huh.
One of the two. Um, but yeah, so yeah, oh, but that's under the name Plaintive, and the whole reason I mentioned that is because I got Spotify and Apple Music links down there if you want to catch up on your Plaintive lore before it's too late. And yeah, coping mechanism out now. And yeah, I've also got my Instagram down there. I've got my album of the year page where I rate and review music. I've got my YouTube page down there. Like I said, I've been working on a couple video projects, so keep your eyes posted over there too. And my TikTok and relation to the viewer. You know me. I am I'm going to do another Heights one. Remember, Colin, no spoilers, but I am on top of that nice little mountain in The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2, overlooking Jackson, Wyoming. I'm up
Mhm.
there in the cold. I'm basically Abby in this situation. So
Huh.
I'm just looking over there. I don't have any goal in my mind. I'm just looking. That's me. And
Awesome.
Colin over here, he runs our socials. He He runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted, as well as updates on anything else needing to be updated. And he runs our little funny clips channels on both Instagram and TikTok, where we have funny clips of us being goofballs, silly little guys. And you should go check those out and give them some
Yeah.
love. Yes, yes, yes. And
Please, I'm begging you.
yeah, Colin needs some love. And he also has some links down there for his letterbox where he rates and reviews movies. Assuming you got a new movie review up there, possibly.
Yeah,
Yep.
you go check out my review for The Wild Robot.
Absolutely. As well as his album of the year page where he rates and reviews music. So go give them all some love. And Colin, speaking of love, what's your relation to our dear viewer?
Well, I'm gonna be, since you're up on the mountain overlooking Jackson. I'm gonna be in Jackson. I'm gonna have some binoculars. I'm gonna be looking out to see if there's any hordes or any just random stray clickers or infected walking around, and I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna see you just waving from all the way up there. You
Yeah.
saw the light gleam off of my binoculars, and you just give me a nice big wave, and I'm gonna go, oh my god,
I'm
there's a,
yelling.
there's a
I'm yelling, Colin.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look real hard in the binoculars, see if I can really tell who that is, and I'm gonna go, oh my god, it's Mike, dude, it's Mike all the way up there in the mountains.
Colin.
Um, and lucky for us, we have a little patrol out between us, so we're gonna all meet halfway. I'm gonna get on the walkie-talkie, which they added in the show, which probably would have been a good touch in the game to have.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna walkie to the patrol out there and be like, stay right there. Me and our good friend Mike are gonna meet with you, and we're gonna have a nice picnic out in the snow.
Wow.
And I'm gonna take a horse, maybe Shimmer, maybe someone else. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna gallop on over. Meet you halfway. It might take you a little longer. I didn't see you with a horse,
Yeah,
but
halfway's a little inconsiderate on my part.
you're the one who went up the mountain, man.
I
I
guess
don't have
that's
to
true.
tell you. We're gonna meet halfway. I'm gonna bring my little picnic stuff, some bagel sandwiches, and
Mhm.
a nice blanket to keep us warm in the dreary snow of Jackson, Wyoming. We're just gonna have a nice little picnic out there, and we're gonna stay kind of quiet because we don't want any stray clickers to hear us and eat us for their picnic. So, but after we're all done eating and having a good time, before we go our separate ways and do whatever we must do to survive, we're all gonna get up and we're all going to, get a nice big group hug with me in the front, our viewer in the middle, and Mike behind. And we're just going to be hugging. I'm going to look over our dear viewer's shoulder at Mike, and I'm gonna do the shh thing that Joel does in the first season when there's clickers. Um, but I'm still gonna kiss you on the mouth. So we're gonna have a nice big silent kiss in the snow.
No noise. Okay.
Next to our dear viewer's head, in an embrace that we like to call the love cage. And if you would like your very own love cage, dear viewer, all you must do is drop your address in the comments below. And we'll find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you and give you your very own love cage.
Absolutely.
So drop that addy.
Yeah. Nothing like a little bit of snowy imagery on this rainy day in April. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk at you guys. Well, thanks for watching, first of all. If you made it this far. So and second of all, we'll catch you next week talking about stuff and things with car seat headrest involved.
Yes.
Yeah. Will Toledo's on the pod. Okay, yeah, see you next week.
All right, bye-bye.